Hello, you guys. So today's recipe is going to be on some cinnamon rolls with a little twist at the end. You will need a baking dish, milk, melted butter, regular sugar, instant yeast, vanilla, all-purpose flour. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, but any type of salt that you have will work fine. Baking powder. For the cinnamon spread, we're going to need butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and for the topping, we're going to need cream cheese, powdered sugar, and milk. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to use our sugar. Make sure that the milk is to room temperature. It doesn't have to be too hot, just make sure that it's warm to the touch. We're going to go ahead and also add our melted butter. Make sure that you get everything in there. We're going to add our vanilla to that and give it a good mix. And to this, we're going to add our 1 package of yeast. And we're going to go ahead and let this sit for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to start to work on the spread. Make sure that the butter is very soft so you can work with it. And then add your brown sugar and start to break it down. And to that, just add your cinnamon, mix it very well, and let it sit on the side until we need it. And now let's get back to our milk mixture. So to that, we're going to add only 4 cups of flour for now. And then just give it a good mix. So what we're trying to do is just make sure that the flour is mixed with the liquid. As you can see, the dough is still very sticky. That's totally fine. So just go ahead and add a plastic film on top of that, and we're going to go ahead and let it rest for 1 hour. So an hour has passed and my dough has been resting inside the oven. Remember to always leave your dough at the warmest place you have in your kitchen. It's time to start to knead our dough. For me, the easiest way is my stand mixer, but you can definitely do this by hand. And this is the time that you want to add your remaining cup of flour. So remember, in total is 5 cups of flour. So we're also going to add our salt and our baking powder. Mixing after 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to go ahead and check on our dough. So to know if the dough is ready is by pressing on it. If it doesn't bounce back, that means it's still not ready. So we're going to let it mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to have to add some oil to our bowl. And this is going to help the dough with the tackiness and forming like a crust on the outside. As you can see here, we're going to go ahead and press on the dough, and you're going to see how that dough rises back up. It's like a little bounce. That's what you want to see. That's how you know your dough is ready. And then also add a little bit of oil on top of your dough, and then just add your plastic film on top of it. Make sure it's touching the dough, and again, this is to prevent any crust from forming. And now we're going to start by proofing our dough, which is the final rise. It's going to sit in the oven for another 30-40 minutes. In the meantime, let's have our dish ready. Go ahead and add some butter. So our dough is ready. It has double the size. And now if you're anything like me, you're gonna go ahead and punch that dough to get the air out. And in this way, you're releasing some stress. And now at your base, wherever you're working your dough, you're gonna go ahead and just add some flour. Make sure you do a little flour. Rolling out your dough might be a little bit tricky just because it might not be even in some corners, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Don't focus on that too much because we're going to be cutting out the edges. So just make sure you get it as thin or thick as you like, whatever's your preference. I like it more on the thinner side, so that's how I'm going to keep mine. And then we're just going to start to add our spread. Also, depending on your preference, if you rather have like a thicker filling for your cinnamon roll, you can always double up the batch or the ingredients for the cinnamon spread. For me, I like it more on the thinner side, as we know cinnamon roll can be really rich and sweet. So just a small thin layer goes a long way for me. So instead of rolling the dough, we're gonna go ahead and fold it. We're gonna do things a little bit different, as you can see. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but go ahead and cut about 1.5 inches to 2. Now cut down in the middle, making 2 strings. Just go ahead and start twisting them. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna come out beautiful anyway, and kind of looks like roses. And again, you can be as neat, you can be as messy, it's still gonna come out delicious. So just go ahead and start folding inwards, and as you see, look, we have this twisted, messy roll of a cinnamon that is gonna taste to die for, I guarantee you. So yeah, just keep on doing them until you're done. And now that we're done with our cinnamon twist, we're gonna go ahead and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And we're gonna start working on our cream cheese topping. So just go ahead and soften down the cream cheese. And then we're gonna add our powdered sugar. And we're gonna add our milk and give it a good mix. Also, this is optional. I like to add a little splash of vanilla. If you like your cream cheese a little bit more runny, you can add more milk to it. But for me, this is perfect. So now my cinnamon twists, my cinnamon rolls have been proofing for about 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and pop it up in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30-35 minutes. And here I have little mini ones. That one didn't fit in the white dish, so I just put something separately just for my family. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's only for my family, so it's okay. Just have fun with it. And you guys, I just took this out of the oven. You can still see it bubbling. Look at this gorgeous dessert. Honestly, it's beautiful. It's tasty, it's sweet, delicious. Also, one more thing I want to add is that when you're baking your cinnamon rolls and you start to see it brown too quickly on the top, just add an aluminum foil on top of it to prevent it from burning or getting too dark. And now that your cinnamon rolls have cooled down for about 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and add our cream cheese icing on top and just go ahead and spread it around. This part is also optional. Here I have some pecans that I slightly toasted on my stovetop, and once they have been toasted, just go ahead and give it a nice little chop, and you can spread some on top of your cinnamon just for that little extra crunch. And this is the end result of this dessert. Again, it's very delicious, it's sweet, the dough is cooked perfectly, it's nice and soft, and let's go ahead and give it a taste. And here I made a special little one just for me, just to taste, and it's very, very delicious. I highly recommend this delicious cinnamon twist, and thank you again for your time, and I hope to see you soon.